Hello, lovely people. I'm Sinead, and welcome to another Dolls and Dollhouses. Today we're going to do some ornaments for that tree you may have made or planning to make from last week's video. But first I want to show you the decorated tree and give you a couple of options in how to make decorations. And you can see the Christmas shopping is in full swing behind me. You can see that the tree is decorated with commercially available little baubles, but it also has a lot of this type of homemade decorations, and I actually really like these. I don't have very many of them. I made them, well, let's just say many years ago. I can't remember. But today I'm going to show you how to do two different versions of basically this idea using beading materials. And maybe even some jewelry findings. So let's go over to the desk and get started. I have a variety of supplies here. First, I want to talk about the pins. These pins have either a flat end, or you can have eye pins, or a decorative little metal pin on the end. I've seen these in both gold and silver. And if you don't have beading pins and you want to try using straight pins, these straight pins that I have over here came out of dress shirts. So when I purchased a dress shirt, I would keep the pins, and I have a fairly large collection of pins over the years. So, and some of them work just fine, no problems. Others might break, so be aware of that. And they are usually on the short end of things. And so you'll need to maybe do fewer beads depending on what size beads you have. The next thing to be aware of is the size of the hole. This bead has a really big hole. And so it would need to be put on the pin. See, if you put it on by itself, it falls right off. So you would need to have a smaller bead below it. So you stack your beads on the pin to create a festive looking ornament that will stay on the pin. And if it turns out that, okay, so this one's probably just enough pin to bend and create an ornament. But if it turns out, well, or maybe you just don't feel like it's enough room here, you can bend this into a round piece here, an eye, basically the same as these pins, but on the other end. So you would bend it around your pliers and cut off the excess. And then you could attach it to another pin, or if you have them, you can use earring shepherd's hooks. They will work as ornament hangers, or you can even use just a piece of wire and an ornament hanger, and just cut it to the length that you need. But you can see this makes a really dangly ornament. So it's all about what you want. You can, wanted to say that on these eye ones that you stick your beads on here, you can take another pin and put, I think I want a smaller, shorter pin for that. Maybe I should do this reversed. As I go, I need a short. Where are the short ones? So you've got this on here, and you want to put some sparkly that has some movement to it, or the potential of movement to it. I don't know. Once the ornaments are on the tree doesn't usually move. I don't have a cat to move my tree. But you can put like a seed bead on here. I don't know if this is focusing on it. Or you can put a crystal bead I think the crystal look beads like this are especially fun. And then again, put a loop in here that you can put on through the eye. Close it off. Whoops. We'll have to go back and put that on afterwards. That's probably a bigger loop than I wanted. Sometimes it helps to have 2 pairs of pliers, and I did not mention these pliers. These are, well, when I bought them, I was told they were rosary pliers, but I think just, I think they're just beading pliers. Excellent for doing this kind of thing, where you want a rounded bend in your pliers. For years, I just used a pair of needle nose pliers. As you may have seen in my other videos about my needle nose pliers, I used those for doing beading. And so, you know, there would always be a half round, I guess, in everything I did. There would be a flat side. Okay, so we've got our dangly on there. You can clean that up and do a neater job than that. This is me feeling klutzy. Yep. So we're going to pick up a different bead. And then this has got a nice, what do you call that? When it wiggles. A dangle on your ornament. Now, if you want to put the hook in here, you'll need, possibly, or may want, to keep your beads from sliding off the hook. Now see, my fingernails have gotten too long to do it that way. Or I'm just not coordinated enough for that. This is a crimp. I don't know if you can see this teeny tiny little metal bead here, but it's intended to be squished. So you put it down close to the decorative beads and you squish it onto the wire. And then your bead can no longer move up and down. Then you can take the end of your wire and bend it around into the hook. And now we have a cute little ornament with its hook built in and its dangle down below. To use. You can use a longer wire, obviously, and stack more beads. I think these kind of beads right here are fun, that have the candy and the teddy bear, and you just put your pin through its center because it has a hole all the way through, and that can be your whole ornament right there, and just bend in your hook at the end. And you can also use charms like these, or whatever theme that your special interest is. If it's sailing or fishing or hiking, you can pick up charms, or just heart charms, or just any, there's charms to represent just about any interest. And use those charms with, say, the eye pin here. You open up the eye and put it through the hole there, and then the pin becomes your hook. You just bend it into a hook. This is an ornament that it's just the pin going through the beads with the crimped on there, and then bent the end of the wire to hook onto the tree. And these two right here both have the earring shepherd hooks, and I trimmed them, trimmed off the extra. I didn't think we needed all that extra length there that extends out there, so trimmed that part off. And I used those pins out of the dress shirt. You know, and I think some work shirts have these too, because I have an awful lot of pins and we didn't buy that many dress shirts. So just a reality check there. But these were the the shirt pins that used on these two ornaments, and then put onto the shepherd's hook earring. Let's see, what else do we have? We went over that one. This one is ready to be hung on something, on another pin for a hook. I might decide to open that back up and add more to it, or put the crimp in there to keep it from moving, because right now it moves an awful lot. And it's got space that it could have another bead there. But then I would need to attach one of these short pins and make it into a hook, or a piece of wire, or, you know, whatever it is that you want to use for that. But keep an eye out for faceted beads, crinkle beads, like and crackle beads, maybe that's what these are called. Crystal-like beads, the rainbow, you know, the colorful beads. Whatever it is that suits the theme of your Christmas tree. Also, I did the garland on the tree, just doing a string of seed beads on a line, and I just tie the last bead and the first bead, you know, just tie a knot around, and the bead itself, and then drape it on the tree in whichever direction you want to have your garland hanging on the tree. But I'm thinking I'm going to make some gold garland for the tree, and it's just a matter of choosing my thread and tying a bead on, and then just these have big enough holes that you can use a sewing needle. Like, see, this pin is a lot, well, it's bigger than some sewing needles, definitely bigger than a beading needle. So beading needles aren't even necessary for these particular beads. That would be something to keep an eye out for. If you buy the really teeny tiny seed beads, you would probably have some difficulties getting it onto the wire. So, you know, be sure that the hole will go on your pin if you're using the pins. And if you're shopping at a bead store, they can answer those questions usually readily. Every bead store I've been in and asked those kind of questions, they have been very helpful in letting me know what can go with what, if that's what I needed to know. And I hope that you really have a lot of fun decorating your tree. Well, what if you're not decorating a tree and you just want to hang these all on a string and drape it around the room for some other reason? Because many, many, many years I have not had room for a tree, and I have put fishing line next to my ceiling and hung ornaments on that fishing line. It looks really cool, and there's no reason you can't do that in your dollhouse. If you think there's no room for a tree, or making a tree is outside your comfort zone, and you just want to make some ornaments and hang them up around the room, you can do that. It's kind of fun. And things like a garland out of strings of beads would also be a lot of fun. So, you know, look outside of the usual use for beads and things and charms, and have fun coming up with some seasonal decorations that goes for the way that you want to celebrate. And I hope you have a delightful day and a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.